Welcome to Live at Pat's Crib, a jam session featuring some of Virginia's finest jazz performers, available on demand on YouTube. Tonight we feature Ravi Palet on bass, Steve Rabson on keyboards, Ben Peters on sax, and yours truly, Pat Bergin, on drums and vocals. Our special guest artists are Matt Gozzard on sax and Jorge Cruz on guitar. The Jazz Club of the Month is right up the road in D.C. It's the world-renowned Blues Alley. And so, without further ado, 1, 2, 1, 2. Love for sale, appetizing young love for sale. Love that's fresh and never spoiled, love that's only slightly spoiled. Love for sale. Who will buy? Who wants to sample her supply? If you want to pay the price, she'll take you to paradise. Love for sale. Let the poets pipe of love in their childish way. Ah, she knows every type of love better far than they. If you want the thrill of love, she's been through the mill of love. Old love, new love, everything but true love for sale. Enterprising young love for sale. If you want to buy her wares, follow her and climb the stairs. Love for sale. Here we go, man. Every type of love better far than they. If you want the thrill of love, she's been through the mill of love. Old love, new love, anything but true love for sale. Enterprising young love for sale. If you want to try her wares, follow her, climb up the stairs. Love for sale. Love for sale. Love for sale. For Sale kicks off this edition of Live at Pat's Crib, and we're happy you decided to join us tonight. By the way, did you know that that song was banned across the country during the 1930s, during the censorship thing, all through the country, the Hayes Commission? And Walter Winchell, do you remember Walter Winchell? He was the preeminent newsman of the time. He praised the song in both his newspaper column and in his radio show. And despite the fact that no radio station would play that song, it sold 1 million copies in a week. And that's why we're still listening to Love for Sale today. Anyway, this is episode number 7 of Live at Pat's Crib. And let me introduce the folks in the band for you. Over on bass again, Ravi Palet. There he is. Our old friend, he's been with us on many of these, and he's with us again tonight. Steve Rabson on keyboards. We have a brand new guest that has never appeared on the show, and he is doing both the house band and a guest shot on the show tonight. Jorge Cruz over there on guitar. I think Ben has been with us on every single episode, haven't you, Ben? All but one. So you've done 6 of them so far. I'm sorry, you've done 5. This is your 6th. Ben Peters on sax. And we're very happy to have a young guy that just blows people away, literally and figuratively, because he's a very loud saxophone player, very loud. Anyway, Matt Gozzard is with us tonight, and he's going to be doing a couple of songs of his choice in a little bit. Back again with our Jazz Club of the Month, and this month we go straight up north, maybe 30, 35 miles, right next door basically. We're going up to Washington, D.C. for Blues Alley, which is one of the greatest jazz clubs in all of the world, really. It started in 1965. This is new for me. It is America's oldest continuing jazz supper club. Now, I always thought that the Keyboard Lounge in Detroit was the oldest, but apparently that's not the case. It's right in Georgetown. If you've ever been to the Washington, D.C. area, you'll know how historic that is. And as you might imagine, the club itself is really historic. It's in an 18th century red brick carriage house on Wisconsin Avenue Northwest. Very, very small club, very intimate. So they do at least 2 shows every night when they have a major group in there. I've seen several, including Max Roach and many others, way back in the 1970s, I guess it was. And I remember the place just being jam-packed, and there weren't more than 125 people, obviously, at any given time. But fabulous music, fabulous ambiance, and they have really good food there. They also are a charitable organization. The venue in 1985 founded, or co-founded, I should say, the Blues Alley Jazz Society. Dizzy Gillespie is a partner, or was a partner in that. It's a 501c nonprofit, and they offer, as it says here, significant jazz education and performance opportunities to students throughout the Washington, D.C. area, and they have ever since 1985. They actually managed to continue performances during the pandemic when everything was closed. They put on a schedule of concerts, live streams from the National Press Club instead of the actual building itself. Let me just tell you some of the musicians that have performed here, and this is a very small list. John Abercrombie, Mose Allison, Tony Bennett, Gary Burton, Charlie Bird, Roy Eldridge, Maynard Ferguson, Stan Getz, Dizzy Gillespie, Freddie Hubbard, Ramsey Lewis, Les McCann. The list goes on and on and on. Now, last year they had a fire on the roof and it threatened to close the place down, but guess what? No, they were able to take care of that. They've since reopened and they're doing better than ever with a full schedule of live jazz and a great Creole menu. I can attest to that myself. The food at Blues Alley is fantastic. So if you are in the area and you get a chance and you want to see some great jazz performances, that's the place you want to go. Okay, back to the music. with our special guest, Matt Gozzard, ladies and gentlemen. Matt, we ran across in the oddest way. He sent me a note, I guess it was on Instant Messenger, and he said, do you know any bands around here that we could play with? And I said, yeah, it just so happens. So Matt sat in with us with Harry Wilson. And boy, what a player this guy is. We have no idea where he came from. So we're about to find out. The first question we always ask is, are you from around here or elsewhere?
So not originally from here. Grew up and was born in Michigan.
Where?
I grew up in Dearborn, just outside Detroit.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And went to college at the University of Michigan, studied jazz studies, doing jazz performance. Got to study saxophone and also bass there with Andrew Bishop and also Robert Hurst, who's played on the Tonight Show band.
Right.
And then also went on with Bradford Marsalis after that. And then for grad school, moved to Toledo, Ohio, and then studied with Gunnar Mossblad there, and was had a grad assistantship. And then afterwards, I was looking for a job, and that's what led me to Northern Virginia. And then a few years later, bought a house down here in Spotsylvania. And then it was during was it a few years ago, like just when COVID hit, and right after, like having played for a while. With other musicians, I was had to just practicing at home, and that's why I was just like, hey, trying to see, hey, what's the jazz scene like in Fredericksburg? And then you sent a response back and said, hey, you guys are playing at was it Pigpen, and come on out, or Pig Pit. So yeah, I remember it was hot that night, but I still had fun, and sat in for a couple songs with you guys, and then just started playing a little bit with Harry Wilson, and then got plugged in with the Fredericksburg Big Band, and then so it's been lots of fun.
Well, we have a lot in common. Actually, you and Steve and myself, we're all three Michigan boys. I'm from Lapeer, Michigan. So
I also went to Michigan in the
Steve went to Michigan too. So boy, I'll tell you,
I played lots of gigs in Ann Arbor and Detroit.
Yeah, well, we all did. I mean, Michigan in that era was really the hot point of the country for music. And if you were a musician back then, man, you could get work no matter what.
Right.
Let me ask you this. What brought you to jazz? Did you start out playing and thinking, oh, I want to be a jazz cat, or did you do what a lot of us did, played rock and roll and country and everything else beforehand?
So for me, I grew up around jazz, classical music, mostly jazz there. Because my grandfather was a trumpet player. He played with the Sam Donahue Big Band and played with up at the Mackinac Island for several summers and stuff. But he was a traveling musician. And then my dad was a band director, and then just grew up around jazz my whole life. And same thing, me and both my brothers were all band directors, so it was just sort of that whole family thing. Because I played saxophone and bass, had a brother that played trumpet and bass, another brother played drums, so I had that little band there growing up, and then now we're all in 3 different states, but there's a lot of music and jazz growing up there.
I often ask people when they come here, especially people that aren't from this area, were you a bit surprised when you came to this little tiny place, Fredericksburg, Virginia, and saw all these fabulous musicians playing around here?
It shocked me here because I didn't know that there was really a jazz scene in Fredericksburg, because a lot of the stuff I saw was a lot of like heavy metal and all this crazy music and genres going on out there. And then after I met you guys and then also got plugged in with the Fredericksburg Big Band, I was like, oh, there's a lot of jazz musicians between Richmond all the way up to DC there. And I always get more phone calls now and emails than I can take a hold of with those gigs there, so it's definitely keeps me busy.
Well, it really does, and we always mention that when we do these interviews. People see this from all over the country, and I kind of like to do a little advertisement for our little town here, Fredericksburg, Virginia. You got anything coming up that we should be aware of?
The next few gigs coming up are all with the Fredericksburg Big Band, because we have a couple charity concerts putting on. And then December, have a few Christmas concerts here.
Sounds good to me. Matt, it's been great having you. You played fantastic, as you always do. I knew that this was going to be a good one when you decided to come and join us. We appreciate it. Thank you very much for being with us. Let's hear it for Matt.
Yay!
don't forget to drop by the Colonial Tavern in Fredericksburg for the monthly jam session sponsored in part by the Fredericksburg Jazz Collective. On the second Thursday of each month, the area's finest jazz musicians, professional and amateur alike, get together to crank out some seriously sweet jams from 7 to 9:30 p.m. See you there! Take two. With us here on Live at Pat's Crib, it is Jorge Cruz, guitar player extraordinaire. And it just came out of nowhere, kind of. I popped into one of the jam sessions at the Colonial Tavern. He was playing. I thought, whoop, I got to find out who this guy is. Yeah. So I introduced myself and I invited him to come and play here tonight, and he really did a great job. Are you, well, we were talking earlier, I know where you're from. You're from Puerto Rico. Tell me a little bit what brought you to Washington, D.C., and then eventually Fredericksburg.
So basically directly to Fredericksburg.
Oh.
I got a job offer to work as a software developer in Dahlgren, and Fredericksburg kind of looked like better than King George in terms of places to find music and stuff, and it's been 7 years so far.
Yeah. 7 years. It's quite a difference coming to a place like Fredericksburg, Virginia, from what do you say, Puerto Rico? I guess you're San Juan or where?
Yeah, San Juan.
San Juan.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of close friends from other areas, especially Arecibo and closer to the west. A lot of gigs over there playing like Latin American rock and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, good times there.
Well, now, it's kind of interesting to me a little bit. Maybe you can expand on this. Because there's not a lot of jazz in Puerto Rico, is there? Or is there? I'm not really even aware.
I mean, more Latin jazz, obviously. There's very good musicians there that were my professors when I was studying music over there. If you guys are interested, like one of the first ones to pop in my head is Ricardo Pons, like great sax player, amazing teacher. Raul Romero, also a great teacher of mine. There's a lot of great guys over there.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're real impressed with your playing. You've got a great jazz feel, so whoever it was that taught you very, very well, I think.
Yes, yes.
And your choice of material was kind of interesting. The one song, I know the song, but I didn't know the title of it, and I still don't. The first one we played, what was that? What's the story behind that?
Cumbanchero?
Yeah.
So it's a very popular song in Puerto Rico in general, like more on the folk side, I guess. And I remember it from when I was little, like my dad singing and stuff. But then it kept popping again in different formats. My favorite being a ska version from Scatolites, ironically. Yeah, it's my favorite one so far. But I found the version of like very fast bebop, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool too. Like this song makes it so many different styles.
I wasn't familiar with it, or at least I didn't think I was until you said it to me and I listened to it. So I have heard that before, but I just didn't know the name of it. Anything coming up in the relatively near future that we should know about? Maybe performances or whatever that we might attend?
So I play a lot with LJ and Spanglish Latin American Band, and on Facebook there's the list of events coming. I am terrible at having them off the top of my head. She's the one that is super sharp and has that calendar always fresh in her head, but you can check that out. And we have a couple of gigs coming this month, and almost every weekend we're playing.
All right, Jorge, ladies and gentlemen, Jorge Cruz. Great to have you with us. You did a great job.
Thank you.
We
Thanks
really appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, had a lot of fun.
All right. forget to drop by the Colonial Tavern in Fredericksburg for the monthly jam session sponsored in part by the Fredericksburg Jazz Collective. On the second Thursday of each month, the area's finest jazz musicians, professional and amateur alike, get together to crank out some seriously sweet jams from 7 to 9:30 p.m. See you there! And that wraps it up for episode number 7 of Live at Pat's Crib. We appreciate you coming along with us tonight. Let me introduce this fantastic assortment of musicians for you. Over on bass, once again, our good friend Ravi Palet, right there. Excellent guitar tonight. He did both the house band and the guest shots, and he's passing out right now. I don't think he has any breath left in his body. That is Jorge Cruz over here on guitar. Our old friend Steve Rabson back on keyboards. How about this guy? We've known him for a while, but he's never done a Pat's Crib episode. We do hope he'll come back and do another one with us. Matt Gozzard on saxophone. And this is his 6th time on the show, and he doesn't get any better. I don't know what's going on with this guy. That's Ben Peters over there on sax. Wave to the folks there, Ben. That does it for this time. We will see you again next month on Live at Pat's Crib. Well, that does it for another episode of Live at Pat's Crib. We're happy you were able to join us tonight, and we hope you'll join us again next month for 2 brand new guest artists. Now, if you are a musician, a jazz musician in particular, and you play an instrument or you sing, please drop by the Fredericksburg Jazz Collective monthly jam session at the Colonial Tavern on the second Thursday of every month. It's an open jam session, so come up and join us. In the meantime, we'll see you again next month for another episode of Live at Pat's Crib. Good night.
The preceding show was taped before a live audience. At least they were when we started. No musicians were harmed in the making of this video, except for me when I slipped and fell into John. All musicians are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law, which they are. If I talk any faster, my teeth will fall out.